Yesterday was supposed to be a great win for the Houston Rockets. They were up by 16 at one point versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Şengün was absolutely dominating Rudy Gobert. I was ready to make a breakdown video of how he schooled Minnesota's defense, but then they blew the lead because their offense just fell off a cliff. And yes, the Rockets have been one of my favorite teams to watch this season, but man, their backcourt annoys me, I'm not gonna lie. The inconsistency of Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green really is the difference between being real contenders and fake contenders, in my opinion. I mean, just listen to this. So Fred VanVleet in wins is shooting 41% from the field, 37% from three, 16.1 points, 6.5 assists per game. But then in losses, oh man, his efficiency just goes down the drain. 31% from the field and 21% from three, 13.6 points, 4.8 assists per game. It seems like there's no middle ground for Fred. He's either very, very hot or ice cold. And then you go to Jalen Green, 20 points, 43% from the field, 34% from three in wins. And then in losses, 18 points per game, 36% from three, and then 28% from three. And the reason why this is so important is because look at the top two most played players on the team, VanVleet and Jalen Green. VanVleet is averaging 35 minutes per game. Jalen Green is just behind him with 32.5 minutes per game. And something that's kind of frustrating to watch, but it's just how the NBA is if Fred is obviously having a stinker, he is not going to get benched no matter what, because he's the veteran of the team. He's got the aura. He's the leader, whatever it is. Udoka will never sit him on the bench and be like, okay, you're not going to be there in crunch time. Because Fred has that notion of keeping everything together on the court as a point guard. If he has a bad game, it doesn't really matter. He's still going to be out there in the biggest moments. And obviously, if you watch the Houston Rockets, one of their biggest issues as a team is three-point shooting. They're 28th in three-point percentage. But somehow, some way, they still have the 10th best offensive rating, and mainly it's because their defense is so good, it turns into offense, fast break opportunities, and things like that. But overall, they just go downward. Like they go up, 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 like it's a roller coaster throughout the game. Their offense is doing pretty solid. And then once the fourth quarter hit, boom, shakalaka. 25th in offensive rating in the fourth quarter. And as I said, they're 28th in three-point percentage. But in the fourth quarter, they're the worst three-point percentage team in the league. And listen to this. Fred VanVleet in fourth quarters this season, 2.7 points, 26% from the field, 27% from three. Jalen Green is shooting 27% from three in the fourth quarter. Jabari Smith, 28% from three in the fourth quarter. Dillon Brooks on the season, 38% from three, one of their most consistent three-point shooters on the roster. In the fourth quarter, 32% from three. This team is terrible offensively in the fourth quarter, especially shooting the basketball. Now, the crazy thing is, despite them having one of the worst offenses in the NBA in the fourth quarter, they're still getting it done in the clutch situation. 5-point game, 5 minutes left is how you describe a clutch game per the NBA. They are 10-7 in that situation. They are tied for the second most wins in the league. And get this, as a team, they are shooting 39% from the field and 25% from three in clutch games. So there are 4 other teams in the league with 10 clutch victories, and none of them are shooting under 40% from the field. None of them are shooting under 30% from three. I mean, the fact that they're actually winning close games, shooting that bad when it matters most is very impressive. But like you saw yesterday, they're always capable of just falling off a cliff. I know it's not a must-win championship or bust year because they've kind of come out of nowhere, but you can't take seasons like this for granted. I think it would be a huge mistake for the front office to use that as an excuse to do nothing at the deadline. Overall, I just really hope the Houston Rockets front office tries to address these offensive inconsistencies and being one of the worst shooting teams in the league, because if they can improve on that just a little, they have a fighter's chance already in the Western Conference. That's all I got, though. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section.